What's up, people? Creature Commandos is finished. As you saw in my last review, if you saw it, I loved it. But today, I'm going to be ranking from worst to best of all the members of Creature Commandos in season 1. So if you haven't seen it, don't watch this because it's going to be chocked full of spoilers. Coming in at number 6, we've got Rick Flag Sr. What a waste, man. First of all, he didn't really get a backstory, which is fine. You know what? I was respecting him, especially when he held his own against Dr. Phosphorus. That was hard. And then he gave it all up because he got a little bit freaky with the princess. He got freaky with the princess and then lost his mind. And the worst part about it is, if he'd used his head and did a proper investigation, he would have found that out, He would have found out that the princess was actually on a mad thing. But instead, he was so obsessed with protecting her, he missed all the signs and he did a mad thing. And it like just embarrassing display, gave up the whole thing. So he's going in at number 6. Barn Rick Flag Sr. Very disappointing display from him. Hopefully he has a redemption arc in season 2, but we'll see. Also, I actually liked his relationship with Frankenstein. So his relationship with Frankenstein and his fight with Dr. Phosphorus, they were sick. But overall, disappointing. Coming in at number 5. You guys are actually going to hate me for this. You really, really are. And I'm sorry. And it might even, I know this is going to upset you guys, but it's Nina. I liked Nina. I liked her relationship with Frankenstein. Her backstory was really, really good. However, her backstory was really, really straightforward. It was a very stereotypical superhero. I don't fit in. I'm a bit different. I'm going to escape. Oh no, my parent has died. I don't feel like, obviously she didn't have any major action scenes. I liked her character because she added a bit of balance. She was a nicer character. And it added balance, and her backstory invoked a lot of emotion, should I say. That last episode, because of her, it was incredible, and it was incredible strongly because of her. But I think throughout the whole season, for me, she has to come in at number 5 because I just feel like I was more entertained by the other characters. I really understand her importance, and I actually really liked Nina, and her death was heartbreaking for me. Number 4, G.I. Robot. G.I. Robot was sick, G.I. Robot was sick. His action scenes, his backstory, it was funny, but it was also entertaining. And it was just really, really good. And actually, it was one of those where they made you feel emotions towards something that doesn't really feel anything. So the robot died and you were like, oh no, not G.I. Robot. So it was well done, man. And I just thought it was really entertaining. And I thought that scene where he befriend someone and then they turn out to be Nazis, I thought that was just sick. I thought his storyline was really well done. However, I just don't think it was enough. I think everybody else had a bit more going on backstory wise, and I think obviously he's a robot in it, so there's only so much you could do with that. That being said, I thought his action scene was the best, and I'm excited to see what he brings to season 2 with that new suit, because I think his action scene was one of the most enjoyable ones to watch. It's hard to say if it was the best actually, because there was really, really good action scene throughout. Coming in at number 3, it's probably higher than a lot of you expected him to be, but Weasel. I really liked Weasel. I thought Weasel was a great character, but what really sold Weasel for me is how much emotion could be conveyed from his character, and he can't speak. And I think the fact that he can't speak and us knowing what's really going on with him, it just added such an interesting dimension. And actually, I think his backstory was one of the most well put together. And it was one of the ones that really, really made me feel something. And I think when I'm watching shows, I want to feel something. And I feel like Weasel's backstory made me feel the most. It was just incredible. Just slightly above Nina's, to be honest. So I'm giving Weasel 3rd because, and also he's just a really interesting character. And I just really liked Weasel in it. So I'm putting him at 3rd, and that might be a little bit high for everyone else, but I just really enjoyed that episode. So there you go, Weasel 3rd. Coming in at number 2, Dr. Phosphorus. His powers were incredible. His backstory was incredibly entertaining. It had everything. It had amazing action scenes. It had a rags to riches story. He had the best powers. He had the best fights. He had everything. He had everything. He even had Batman. Like, he had everything going on. He had the most character. He had everything. He literally had everything. Number 1 has to go to the bride for me because she had it all, right? And I think she was just such an integral part of the storyline. She just had more going on. She had the most well fleshed out backstory. Her character was played very well. She had really interesting lines. Her relationship with Nina was one of the most interesting parts of the show. Like going from somebody who's really heartless to somebody who can show emotions. The whole thing she had with Frankenstein, her backstory and you know, where her feelings come from and why Frankenstein is following her. And actually the fact that she lost the love of her life and that turned her into somebody cold. Her action scene, she didn't have any powers, but she was just incredibly good at fighting. She was incredibly good at shooting. She led the team well. She just had everything. She had everything for me. And I think they just poured a lot into her character as she was obviously going to become the leader, isn't it? So they threw a lot of into her. So The Bride is going in at number one. Tell me what your list is. This is my list. I'm sorry if I've upset anyone. It's hard to even rank them because I loved them all and I thought they were really good. And, you know, I might sleep on it tonight and think, should have swapped him with him. But that's my list at the moment. Tell me what you think. Give me your list below. Tutu Reviews. Give me a follow.